So maybe, yeah, so I don't know, like we can just put LM01. I don't know if there should not be same ID. So, yes, so we can drop down here and can select maybe virus. So you can go down. Let's see, Bogor virus. There is.
Let's say we don't know the common name.
Yes, yeah, so, yeah. Yes, yeah, so you can put the common name if you have, otherwise just you can leave. And data source, you can put like maybe the field, yeah, okay. Field survey or something, and then crop. Let's select. There are a lot of crop. Let's select tomato. And severity level, you can just, yes, yes. So then no variety, growth stage. You can, if you have, you can put. And then maybe Indonesia. You can select with the drop down, right? Then if you have a state, you can just use West Java. If you have a district, you can put the district. And I think it is very important to put the longitude and latitude. We get the map based on that information. So, but it will not appear. Yeah. So it might not appear in the yes. So then year maybe.
We hope that, for example, in 5 years we can see if there is any changes in the population or anything from a particular area. So year is very important.
Yeah. So then you can just save this file. And you can see here, upload. And you can select your file. And it should processing. And then we need to check and approve by the administrator because sometimes there is an error or anything, we just get correction and then that will be appear. So like there are like 4 different component you can upload. For example, you have this is the pathogen data. Then at the same time, if you have something like resistant screening, you want to share the data with the community, I think you can just
or even public varieties that.
Yes, if you see that is resistant with some like strain or you can upload that one.
Can be a variety registered for a company as long as this variety is tied to a particular pest and diseases.
Yes.
So then the people will know.
Yeah, there is a biorational product. Generally, we should be very sensitive about this one because sometimes that could create some issue if the product doesn't work. And so basically, we depend on the government registration on that one. If your government have already registered some biocontrol product or biorational product, we depend on that one, and then we make a disclaimer that this data come from this institute. So that will put in us in the safe landing, right? And we cannot depend all the claims, right? So that we depend on like government or other institution, like whoever registered that product for particular pathogen or disease. And so if you have something already like registered in your country, you can help to enrich our database by putting those data in the system. Then we have also the opportunity to put some crop protection measures. That is basically you can put some information about the cultural practices, how you can manage the disease, that particular disease, maybe the cropping time in your location, or cropping season or spacing or any particular management practices, you can put this one. So I just want to go this, how to.
No, this is something else.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, still there is a instruction information you have, so you follow that one, and then so you use the same. So if you have any specific product for that disease, you can put that one. Application method, dosage, or frequency, or which crop growth stage you want to put, or any safety issue related to that one, environmental condition, or any instructions, like you don't have any product, but you have an instruction to manage the disease, right? So you can put that information in bullet that will appear at the end. And if anyone, any farmers from your location, they want to see if there is information to manage, they will have access to that one.
You ask, okay, how we go back? How the platform can help me, or how I can help the platform. So, number one, we need more data of more diseases that, for example, in Taiwan we don't have. Number two, when we upload data, when people use data, and when we add more data from the diagnosis we do, and we, for example, get, let's say, a sample that we discover is a new pathogen in this area, everybody that is part of our database will be an alert, not of the country, not of the details, but in this area, maybe we identify something that was not there before. Or just inform you, not there, not a quarantine, but an important virus. For example, right now in our database, we don't have TBR, just the Rugose virus. But if we get it in the next 6 months, if you are registered, you should be able to get something from us, because we approve the data and we know which data, we track our data. And we will be able to inform everybody in our list. And also, whatever filter you use, I'm not able to remove this. Can you see that? Sorry, we have the zoom bar. You guys don't see, but we see a zoom. No, I wanted to leave this to go here to show the products, the accessions. These are public available accessions, material that if you don't know and you want to start a project, you can look up according to the information. So this is good for late blight and for this race. So this is specific for this race, for late blight. And this was done by sporangio suspension screening. So you have here, these are public World Veg available lines that anybody can access. For example, this one is for pepper and anthracnose. We screen using macro injection and it shows resistance. So which anthracnose? This is Coletracio acutatum. So we have here. So you can come and check this material. So this will directly link screening data and strain-specific data. For example, here, this is bacteria spot race 4. We are not talking just bacteria spot resistant. We are talking about race. So it's another level. So it's a deeper level that you can find here. So if in your area, for example, you have this race, you can come and check if this material might be useful, not just bacteria spot. Yeah, and
So I just want to take you again to the contributor. So
because this is not admin.
yes, no, the manual.
Manual. But the manual is just instead of using the template.
If you have a few things to input, I think you just use the manual. Or you can. Okay, so let me. Yes.
I think it's because of the Zoom. No, the Zoom link. Because of the. Let's go to contribute.
Oh yeah. So you go down here and you can see, is that coming there? Oh yes, it's there. So you can do the manually also, right? So you click here, you see these things, you can put all the information here and then just submit. This is for our, if you have 1 or 2 things to submit, you don't need to use the template. Template is for like if you have a lot of data to upload at a time, then you can use the template. So we have this system for all the four component. So you can select whichever you want to do. But before like it appear, we need to approve. We do go through the data and check the data. If everything is there, then we just approve. If there is something confusing or like misleading, then we might reach out to you to confirm that one. If like there is a minor correction needed, we can do ourselves. Then it will display in the system.
Questions? Do you have any questions so far? I know you need for a new website you need to train. Even ourselves, we're still working on it, but the difference is just here. You're gonna have meaning race level. You can find the race level of the organisms you are working. So if we just go to organism, let's say bacteria wilt, you're going to have data based on let's say this one. You're going to have the data. I have to go down. Can you make it go down? To see all the data. Yeah. Then you see here, you have the phylotype is what everybody gives you. This is what we call race. But here you're going to have the biovar. Now you have to go this side. It's the Zoom. We have a Zoom bar. So if you go there, you're going to see the sequevar. You're going to see the, yeah, there. You're going to see detailed information. And this data is linked. This data, it will be linked to the resistant varieties, not varieties, but accessions that you can use that are world veg, and it will tell you what is about. This.
Okay, now I may do a demonstration to you to explain what the race or the strain will work. So at the beginning, let's clear all the filter. And I use, I think I use the phytophthora bright as a case. It affects the paper. So if we don't filter our pathogen population, you can see the resistant accessions listed in the right side. And now we will go to the advanced filter. The first layer you will see for Phytophthora bright, we called pesotype. We have 3 pesotypes. So if I select the specific pesotype, for example, pesotype 3, notable, the right side, the accessions decrease. That means not all accessions can resist to phytotype 3. Same, if we select phytotype 2, it's decreased, but not so many as phytotype 3. So that website can show you the accessions specific resistant to which strain, or we say race, or we say phytotype. It depends on what kind of microorganism we studied on. So we have this kind of information is developed in based on the artificial inoculation in greenhouse or in the lab. So use a specific race, specific strain. So it's more detailed, more scientific compared to the screen in the field. So this, I think, is a very valuable information for this website.
And if you send us your information and you didn't do the greenhouse, but your pathotype and your sequence matches one, then you will know which ones can be used for your species. Okay, so I think people are getting bored.
One of the options in when you are uploading the accession and biorational product, you will have the opportunity to upload the picture. So if you want to see how that variety or their fruits look like, sometimes people select the variety based on their like fruit quality or plant architecture or something like that, right? So there is opportunity you can upload the picture. Probably in the future, we'll also try to upload the picture of the particular variety or accession in the system so that the user will have the chance to select the accession based on plant architecture or the plant morphology or fruit shape, size, those kind of things, yeah.
So I think for now is good. We're gonna open for questions if you have any questions. Next, we're gonna do a panel discussion to discuss how we can make this more useful, how the network can work together to take advantage of this data. But now we wanted to hear a little bit more questions related maybe for what we have presented that maybe is not clear for you.
And also, if you have any suggestions or feedback to make this like even better, that's also very welcome.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Lawrence. My name is Iksan. I'm from Indonesian Authority, Quarantine Authority. Firstly, I would like to thank, and we also appreciate this program and also the system you present. This is very important for us, and also maybe this is first time for us come this meeting. But we, as National Plant Protection organization, MPPO, and also we have colleagues from Ministry of Agriculture. So, you mentioned previously this morning, this is very important, and maybe every country different policy. But you say that there is no political, right? This is just a science. But in my mind, because this is very important for every country and also for government. Of course, there is an impact to trade or another. So maybe I just want to know, first question, who can allot to input or assess this program, this system? The first. And the second, it is, can be tracked back or trace who input this system, the second. And also, maybe we want to know what is the advantage, or maybe if we input more, such as Taiwan or Philippines, for other country, because we also maybe we have NPPO, and maybe NAG also come from other country, quarantine maybe. So we need discussion with our NPPO member, of course, because this yes, we agree this is very important for surveillance, as in Philippines and also Thailand. Quarantine responsible for surveillance in the pre-border and border, and maybe our colleagues in culture and the post-border. But this data is very important, but we also need more collaboration with our NPPO. Thank you.
So yeah, one of the thing, yeah. So we have a system. So who we can see like who input that data. We can clearly see that one in the system, and you also can, like, when you open your account, you will see like how much information you contributed to the system. There is a system you can track that where and from whom that information is come. It's clearly you can see that one. So the another thing is why anyone want to contribute this one. This is a very big question. Still we don't have the answer, but everyone realize that this data is in our database since long time, but it's in the public's, people doesn't have access with this one. So we are making this one public so that people can get benefited, like country can get benefited with this one. So yeah, so this is right now, if you want to add something.
Yeah, so in terms of tracking, knowing the system tells us, and we can track and inform, and you can know everything, all your contributions. In terms of the surveillance, you want to also get it? Yeah, in terms of the surveillance itself, there is new information and there is old information known. So let's say it's known. For example, we know that in Indonesia, Ralstonia is phylotype 4. It's known. You can go across, if you are doing study or you have students, we can add this data across the island. The data is going to tell you something. We had a study, our collaborator in Vietnam, they always told us, they told our breeders, they always have Coletotricum acutatum. This is what they told in the country. When we went to do surveillance, we find out in the field a different story. It's closer related. They are both very close related when you do the phylogenetic tree, but all my DNA came Scoveli. And my breeders, they need time to help that country to do the resistant delivery. So the country assume, because no one, you need the data to make decisions. So the data, when you put that, is not just new thing. Please hide, please let me know. No, we don't want new things. We want data because data tells you information. Data tells you what is actually than what you think. So in Vietnam, I didn't show the study, but our collaborators know because we work with them. We find out that actually the country in all north have mixed Acutatum scoveli, all south, only scoveli. And the varieties they were developing, the decision they were taking, the money we were spending trying to develop the pepper industry were not going to pay it off. It was not going to pay it off. It will fail to not move because the detail was very superficial, not on the race level. So it doesn't always need to be new thing. New thing is good to prevent, but old thing is good to take good decisions. And besides just variety, we have an information for biologicals or information or other biorational products. Sometimes in ASEAN, you guys can trade and you can know, oh, Thailand, they are using this product, Bacillus, not subtilis, they are using Amphiphylocasis against something you are not using. You can have information to know, to try with your farmers. So if you saw my presentation, it's for decision making, it's for decide support, because we observe in World Veg, we had a lot of data, and the data is helping us help in the decision because we always assuming things, but we don't have data. Here, we're gonna have data. We need data, we need scientific based data to help our farmers, because it's easy for me to speak. It's easy for me to go to a farmer and say, we were in Laos. Do you remember? They say, we have done everything you told us in my PPT. They have problem with black rot on cabbage. I say, increase pH, we done everything, lady. And I'm like, I need to go deep on science. Maybe this strain, maybe I need to go deep on data. I need to understand what is the problem. And we believe if we all help in the data that everybody knows, it doesn't always, if plant quarantine say we cannot assume data that is gonna stop our trade, is gonna hurt our industry. You don't need to put the data. But if you have other data that you already know is there, but you never solve that problem, why not put in here and we can see and we can match and you can compare. Maybe you have in the US, maybe you have here. We are focused on ASEAN because we have a lot of data, but the idea is to use data to make decision. Yeah, so I will.
Thank you. I want to talk NPPO language in this case. Now, you have A2 pest list. And this pest is available in your country, but still not widespread. You have it maybe in north of Indonesia. With this kind of surveillance, you can track how it moves or how it progresses. It can make you implement your official controls just in the north or in the south or in whichever area that you want to keep this kind of pest. It can be an insect, it can be a disease, it can be anything. I think Thailand, they say they are implementing official controls on tutor. I don't know whether it's in one specific control, whether they are limiting movement of tomatoes from the region that it was reported to the rest of the country or not. But already they have tutor absoluta in Thailand, but it is not widespread. So this is one of the ways that we can be able to have up-to-date information about the movement of pests in our regions, in our countries. And we can be able to even communicate this kind of information with our trading partners. If I'm trading in banana, for example, I'm exporting banana, it is reported that I have fork tier 4 in my country, but fork tier 4 is only present in the south where I don't grow bananas. But the importing country wants me to implement specific measures that are not relevant for my bananas grown in the north. Then I can use this data to support my, to give to my trading partner so that they're able to actually see that this is scientific information, up-to-date surveillance, up-to-date data to support what I'm doing. So it is of importance to both exporting or countries within the region. I'm sorry, I think I'm standing in the wrong place. It does not want me to speak. So I think we all can see how relevant this can be to the NPPO. We have different benefits that even research organizations, our farmers, can get out of this platform. What we need is to keep this data up to date. Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, because this is our communication, risk communication between NPPO with other country. When we will export product from country to other country, so the data, this data is very, very important. Technical data means, back to our first questions. So all people can access this system, right? So what about, how can we validate this data? I mean, because we have NPPO, so the data will be very, very, apa namanya? We can not approve data from everyone. We send technical data to NPPO importing country, such as we will export banana to other country. So, which data we want send? If this data, the validity is not proper, maybe. I don't.
I like your question.
So our second questions. Can this who is assess this data? This is very important for NPPO to make sure that the data is valid, the data is good and can be responsible.
Thank you. I just want to mention something, then you go, because you speak NPPO language. I wanted to add something about the data. I even forgot about the benefits of having this. I think we don't have yet. That's why we don't want to come here and do what this level we are doing and say, oh, this is what we have, this is World Veg, everybody use. We want to build with all of you. We want to start from the beginning. This is what we show is, this is the data of World Veg, this is what we have. But how we can make it valid, how we can make it useful, how we can make, and this next session is going to discuss. We have a panel discussion. What I wanted to say that we already working. We're going to work with, tomorrow, we're going to be, one of the presenters from AgriLink, AgriTalk, is a startup company in Taiwan. And one of the things I say to her that I want to add for benefit for this data is every time we have data and we know specificities of that pathogen, we need prediction as well. That can help you guys to prepare and say, look, the weather is this, the temperature this year is so high, you're going to have problems with A, B, and Z in this area and in this area. Tomorrow, you're going to see the lady is going to present to you. Right now, the system is not doing, but this is where we are going. She's going to present to you guys the tools. And this tool is not for just Vegemon. This tool, if you guys want to work with them, if your Minister of Agriculture is willing to improve your system, it's good. We, in the disclaimer, when you download our data, we say, look, this is the data that World Veg, a non-profit public organization, has to help you. We are not claiming that please sell the seed to this person. No, that's not our mandate. That's the government mandate. But we want the government to use this data for something useful. That's why we say we don't say Vegemon is to replace, we don't say Vegemon. We want Vegemon to be integrated in the system that make decisions for the country, or that make decisions for all of you. So our data is just contributors. We validate it by the sequence they send, and in science basically is ethics as well. We hope the data is accurate. We verify the data. So when you submit the data, here in the contributor, you will see the data we just did is still pending. I don't know if you, oh, it's not there anymore. Can you project the PPT? The Zoom, sorry. So, yeah, but they cannot see. So it's still pending. So we go through dual process. But we are not deciding for those countries. We are just giving a tool that we hope it can be integrated to the prime, what is the name of yours? Is Inspire. We want you to use Inspire to say, oh, there is this organization that have worked in Indonesia, has this data, what is telling us. It can be from the past, just for you to track now, monitor what happened, it changed. Because sometimes we say the varieties are not holding, but it's the change of population, the same case we had in Taiwan. And we need to upgrade our bacteria spot lines or genes. So basically the idea is not this to be a decision making. As a World Veg, we are only public good. We just offer whatever we were able to do to develop our partner countries. Yeah.
Yes, actually we have a system Inspire, maybe Dr. present this morning, because we have so many islands in Indonesia, so we have a system, and we can track back who input this system and when they input the system.
Yeah.
Maybe similar with this system, but our system is still in our internal system. So the result of our surveillance may be we always communication, always coordination with our member and PPO.
And sorry, and one thing about Vegemon is usually what we notice as well is when we go, you guys work for your country. You're not going to develop other countries. You work for Philippines, but for Indonesia. But when you have individual countries with only their system, it's very hard because the pathogens don't know system. They don't know is Indonesia. If they land here and then they move to your neighbor, they are spreading everywhere. So when you limit it also just, of course you just have to limit for your government. No one takes the responsibility to do for the region, basically. Of course we have ASEAN, we have the groups, but no one is actually doing the science-based detail. You know, it takes a lot of time to make something in action. So our idea is maybe we can have Vegemon to help all of you, or at least this group, our network, the people who want to work with us, to use this data for something to add on your system.
Yeah, I just wanted to emphasize on the component of validation, because we also have, we can track who input the data. Before the data is made available, we screen. One of the things that increases our confidence in the data is that we don't just have the tech, we also have the DNA data. So when one inputs data about a pathogen or an insect, they need to also share with us the DNA sequence that goes along with that identified organism. So this is, I'm not sure someone would sit down to fake a DNA sequence of any organism. It's it's unthinkable. Maybe someone extreme could, but I think it is unthinkable. So this increases our confidence in the validity of the data that is available on Vegemon. And this is why farmers may not be able to input this. So we're looking at focal points, research institutions, universities. We have a focal point where if they identify an organism, they can be able to input data onto Vegemon. A government institute can be able to do that. So it is beyond an individual. It's more of an institutional collaboration at the end of the day, where institutions are able to input data through specific focal points, and we can be able to share this information among us as regions. I don't want to speak more because I'm going into the next session. Someone wants to ask? Okay. Well, I think we have spent a bit of time on that. We are moving on to the next session, and the next session is basically a discussion. I like the way the discussions are going, because this is why we are putting this together. So as I begin this session, I want to begin with an analogy of what we were just discussing. Assuming that we have an outbreak of, I'll use tutor. I'm an entomologist, by the way. So I like insects more. They like pathogens more. So assuming we are talking about tutor, Thorimea absoluta. Today we know that it's present in Thailand. It just was reported 1 or 2 years ago in Japan, but we still don't have it down here. Assuming that you don't have this information, Japan are not willing to share that information, Thailand are not willing to let us know that it is present in the region. Are we able to put in place any contingency measures as Indonesia or Philippines in order to help us prepare for this pest? I don't think we are able to do that. And maybe I think that is one of the reasons some of these outbreaks find us unprepared. And so we become reactive instead of proactive. Now, Vegemon is going to help us to become proactive. We can put in place systems before some of these outbreaks occur. Since I love SPS so much, I'll not talk again about it. I'm going to introduce my panel. We are moving to the panel discussion, and the discussion is basically going to focus on building the Taiwan-ASEAN disease surveillance network. And to help me in this discussion, we have Dr. Srihunsa from Thailand. Please come and join me on stage. We have Dr. Elizabeth from Indonesia. Please join me. Mr. Samnang from Cambodia. Miss Eileen from Taiwan. And I have Min Chua Huang from Vietnam. I'm not sure if he's online. Please sit. Kindly check for me if Mr. Huang from Vietnam is present online. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. So this is, we're going to have a friendly discussion, just to look at some of the ways in which we can be able to, put together this surveillance network. And to start us off, probably I'm going to start with Elizabeth. I think I should sit also, now that all my panelists are seated. So allow me to sit on this side. No, there's a chair. Yeah. All right. So I'll begin with Asti. No, okay, she says I call her Asti, but I think I'm happy to call her Elizabeth. Well, I just want your thoughts about what you think are the most important gaps in, plant disease and insect pest surveillance across the region, not just Indonesia, but across the ASEAN region.
Okay, thank you for the questions. And I think this morning we have heard from the report from each country's some information about the challenge and their recommendation to make the regional network work better. And we all learn that each country already tried their very best effort to do pest and disease surveillance, and we are very happy to hear that. But I also noticed that there are several challenges and then some difficulties, or well, not difficulties, yeah, challenges and opportunities to improve the surveillance method to make the regional network better. So I identified, for example, number one, there are several things that I note for this. Number one is the surveillance methodology and systems. It seems that every country have their own method and system which work very well in their countries, but if we want to make a regional network, we want to have a system or method that work well for the all regions. Number two is the, what was to say, real-time data sharing. So we understand that they collected data frequently and routinely, but what happened if we found an outbreak or new pests and diseases? We have to report as soon as possible, so immediate act can be, done, and we can lower the bad impact of the, for example, new pests or diseases as soon as possible. Yeah. Another thing that I noticed is the diagnostic capacity. Some countries seems like to have a very good infrastructures and human resource to do the diagnostic very well, but several countries lack the good capacity, so that will also cause the gap for the surveillance. Another thing is, field level monitoring coverage. Mm-hmm. So for example, very easy for Indonesia, it's a big country with a lot of islands. Usually the surveillance is prioritized in the main area, or the, for example, central growth, regions, and we forget, or we could not do in the remote area.
And we just heard that pests and diseases could not, differentiate which one is the main growing area or the remote area. So we have to look also for the remote area for that. And yeah, I think that's what I thought about.
Sure.
the
Thank you. Thank you so much for those points. And I think at one point I'll come back to the audience to ask a few questions as well. Mr. Samnang, let me jump to you. Now, do you think a regional network like the one we are trying to build here would be more effective than the individual countries working independently to generate surveillance data?
Yes, thank you for your question. Yes, actually the surveillance, like the regional surveillance, is very important because normally we cannot control it by our own country. If we example to the plot, if we are next to the plot, is one plot try to control, but the other they not control. So that insect will be go to the plot that cannot control. If we reflect back to the regional, it also the same plot. Yes, the first thing is insect no need passport, so they can fly to across the country. Yeah. So if like Cambodia not controls the pest, or we have the problem like I'm not remember the year, but in that time virus which bloom from the cassava, and also in Vietnam if they made that problem and that propagation that plant will bring to Cambodia, and it is will face the problem same.
Yeah.
Yes, this is one reason. So, and the other one is about the policy or about the research. It can be, if we are do together, the data will be bigger, and so we will do anything if we have the data. And third is about the yes, it can be cost effective if we are share together. Cambodia do what we have, Thailand do what they have, Laos and everywhere. So the cost it would be effective too. And also the strong diagnostic capacity. Yeah. And I think the final one is the capacity building and knowledge exchange. When we work together, we can share together what Thailand found, what Vietnam found, what everywhere. We can share together. As we mentioned in Philippines, they have faced the problem with the virus. So it is quite new in Philippines, but the other country still not happened yet. But after Philippines, they face a lot, and then it can be moved to the other country, and then we can learn from the Philippines. Yeah, that is what I found. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'll move to Dr. Sri Hunsa. Dr. C, okay. Thank you so much for making it shorter for me. Now, as we work towards, a regional surveillance network, we've heard that, data validity is something, reliability of data is a question. Now, do you think it is important to have some, minimal data standards that can be applied across countries or across regions so that we can be able to achieve this mission? We can work cohesively, we can enable interoperability among countries across the network.
Minimal standard.
Yes.
of the data.
Yes.
So actually, I think every country have their own standard for the data that they make it in their country. But actually, if we can set the same, no, I mean, yes, it should be the same standard, but some countries can be higher, but some like minimal, but we have to set the baseline of the standard of the data so we can share each other. And actually I worry about, yes, we have the minimal standard data, but is it possible that we can share it like transparency? So sometimes, even when we use the Reqional, yes, I know that the attention, the intent that you want it to be useful for the researcher, for the breeder, and for all people in Veggie society, but actually someone think that it might be the trade barrier, like when we report it, like I, name of Kasetsat University, want to report it because I want to share the knowledge that I found, and I want everyone in the region to aware with this virus or something. But sometimes another country may use this information to be like
A barrier.
the barrier for Thailand that affect a lot to Thailand also. So the minimum, so it's I think it's possible to make the minimal standard for the data for every country, and also I want it to be like as much as possible, because in the name of the academic institution, I think, yes, the data transparency is very important, and minimal standard is should be have in our society also.
Thank you so much. I want to ask from the NPPO of Indonesia or Philippines, how well do you work with your research institutions like the universities? What is the relationship like? And I want to give this example. If, as a researcher, I come across an organism that has not been reported in my country before, and we like to publish, because when I find this, I like my name to go with first report of Tuta absoluta in Philippines or Indonesia. But this is going to harm trade for Philippines or Indonesia. How do you ensure that you work cohesively between the regulator, the NPPO, and the researcher, and still be transparent with the data that you share out there? How do we balance? Where does the balance come in? And do you think we can achieve a balance through a platform like Vegemon? I want a short response from either Indonesia, NPPO, or Philippines.